You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield because we got some real specifics now on where Baker and the Bucs are on a new contract. And I still believe that at some point this gets done with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield will be back in-house. Now, the only thing to keep in mind is the team lurking that you don't know about that may be willing to outspend the Buccaneers, especially if, say, the Falcons strike out ultimately on Kirk Cousins and the Vikings decide to pay Kirk whatever he wants and he just stays with Minnesota. Well, then they're going to turn their attention to Baker Mayfield. And we've talked about that in the past, but I do believe that the Buccaneers will end up getting this done. But we certainly know now where we're at and how far apart the Bucs and Baker are. And, well, it's $20 million a year. All right, that's a lot of far apart, but that doesn't mean they can't meet in the middle on this thing. So let's check this out. Here's an update on the negotiations between the Bucs and Baker Mayfield. Both sides are still not close to agreeing to terms on a contract extension. Now, what makes that most concerning is we're only 3 days from the legal tampering period starting. All right? Now, as of right now, the Bucs can get all involved with trying to get their quarterback. Now, don't get me wrong, there's tampering that goes on at the scouting combine too, but then you fully let other teams come in and start offering contracts. That's what they got to try to do is keep Baker away from other teams. That's going to be the fly in the ointment. Pewter Report has spoken with multiple sources recently, and while there has been some progress since talks began in earnest at the scouting combine last week, the Bucs and Mayfield's camp were very far apart to begin with. How far? $20 million apart. Pewter Report is not sure which side made the initial offer, whether it was the Bucs or Mayfield's agent, Jack Mills. But Mayfield's camp opened negotiations with an offer rumored to be at $44 million per year. The thinking there is that Mayfield is a better quarterback than New York Giants starter Daniel Jones, who makes an average of $40 million per year. It's still mind-boggling how bad that contract is. That contract's every bit as bad as well, it's shorter, so it's not as bad, but per year, it's pretty bad. Even compared to, say, a Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson, that Daniel Jones contract sucks, too. I mean, it really does. And there's a lot of rumors about the fact they're done with Daniel Jones. Tampa Bay is rumored to have either countered or started with an offer of $25 million per year, which is the Geno Smith contract. After a career turnaround in Seattle in 2022, replacing Russell Wilson as starter, Smith signed 3 years, $75 million contract extension. That's a big gap. It's $19 million. The Bucs fans shouldn't be alarmed by those initial numbers from Mayfield's agent and the team. That's typical. I agree. The player wants a higher salary and starts off negotiations with an offer that is nearly unreasonable. Then the team comes in with a lowball offer to counter. Both the agent and the teams have their own set of player comparisons or, quote, comps to help state their respective cases. What almost always happens is that both sides inevitably meet in the middle and compromise and work it out. The side with the most amount of leverage typically prevails, and the middle ground winds up being closer to that particular side. So what is the middle ground? 25 and $44 million. You're looking at $34.5 million. That's pretty close to the mark. I know I believe it was Spot Track had it right around $34.5 million, I think is what they had. Multiple years, total contract, maybe $108 million, something like that. Pewter Report has maintained that Mayfield would likely receive a contract worth at least $30 million, and the new deal worth $34.5 million per year would actually favor the Bucs because it would keep the team away from the $40 million that Mayfield's camp will be pushing due to the Daniel Jones contract. An easy counter for Bucs assistant general manager Mike Greenberg is to make is that LA's quarterback Matthew Stafford, Dallas's quarterback Dak Prescott also make an average of $40 million per year. Both Stafford and Prescott are more accomplished quarterbacks than either Jones or Mayfield. Prescott led the NFL in touchdown passes in 2023 with 36, three-time Pro Bowler. Stafford, a two-time Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion. The Bucs and Mayfield's agent have made some progress from their initial talks in Indianapolis, but a deal does not appear to be imminent. Again, you are on a time clock on this, all right? Between now and the 11th, right? When the negotiating period with other teams, the tampering period starts, all right? Now, he does bring up some things that is interesting about Mayfield's current financial state. The good news for the Bucs and Mayfield is that there's mutual interest in getting a deal done so that Tampa Bay's starting quarterback can remain in the red and pewter. However, Diana Rossini has reported, and the pewter report has confirmed, Mayfield won't necessarily give the Bucs a hometown discount. And there are three primary reasons. First, Mayfield lost $12 million in a fraudulent investment scheme that the matter is in courts, but even if Mayfield prevails, there's no guarantee he will get some of all of his money. Mayfield signed a one-year prove-it deal with Tampa for $4 million last year and resurrected his career, put himself in a position to make another big contract. He wound up making just under $8 million in incentives, but was still about $12 million below the average NFL starter money, which is around $20 million per year. So in essence, Mayfield could theorize that he's down $24 million in his mind due to money lost in the fraud and lost in, of course, last year's salary. Nah, I don't know about that, but I guess we'll find out. Mayfield turns 29 in April, and this could be his last big contract. I would almost guarantee it will be. In case you're wondering, Baker, 4,044 yards, 28 TDs, 10 picks. By the way, that's a full 1,000 yards more than Russell Wilson had last year, in case anybody's wanting to know. But Baker's right in there with Russell. All right, better pocket passer, but Russell came out one spot ahead. Derek Carr on PFF was tied with Baker for the 19th best quarterback. Russell was 18. Joe Burrow was 17. And that shows you sort of the flaws with PFF and their quarterback ranking system, because I think everybody believes Joe Burrow's a top probably 8 quarterback in all of the NFL, but he was injured, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's nobody in their right mind thinking Joe Burrow is not as good as Geno Smith, all right? And I'm a big Geno Smith fan, so you get my point there. So they're going to work it out, provided, like I said, there is a bit of a time clock here, because let's say the Falcons reach out and they can't get something done, or Kirk Cousins, the Vikings come in and just slam the door, sign him. The story emerges 5 minutes after the tampering period opens, because odds are a lot of this stuff will literally start getting announced 3 minutes in to the tampering period. And let's say that the Vikings re-up, then the Falcons' attention will turn to Justin Fields and Baker Mayfield. All right, so it would be in the Buccaneers' best interest to get this done. I think 34.5 makes a lot of sense for all parties. And if I'm Baker after that shit show in Cleveland, man, wouldn't you just rather sign for 3 years and know where your home's going to be? I don't know. That's my take anyway. I do believe it gets done. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.